What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Bear Show. I'm Ivan Vargas on the best Bears network on the planet. The tape never lies. Don't you forget it. Before we get started, as always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to not only this show, but the Tape Never Lies network as a whole. Become a patron today at www.thetapeneverlies.com. Training camp is rolling. I'm happy about it. You're happy about it. Day 2 and 3. I wanted to catch everybody up on, just some of the interviews and some of the things that have been said. I want you guys to hear it, obviously, from the players. Some of you, I know all of you guys here, if you're fans of the Tape Never Lies, you've probably heard everything that needs to be heard about what's going on with the Bears because, like I said before, the focus is on them. The spotlight is on them. The cameras are in the building with Hard Knocks, so everything's a go over there. So I just want to catch everybody up. First we're going to start with Sunday's interviews, and then we're going to catch up with today's as well. What's up, everybody in the chat? Justin, how are you? I don't know what Lion Man is. Are you a Lions fan? I don't know what it is, but what is up anyways? Jose, how are you? What's up? Scottish Bear, as always, a pleasure having you. James Hunter, nice to see you as well. And everybody else that's out there, I appreciate you joining. So let's go ahead and jump into it. First interview yesterday was Shane Waldren, and everybody seems to be very positive about the trajectory that Caleb Williams has had so far. Uh, um, into training camp, like where he's growing, where he's progressed from rookie mini camp to OTAs, and then now you got this. You have the real deal. The show's about to begin. You're in training camp, ready to go. So we'll see how Shane Waldron feels, how things are going so far. Like I said, we'll be there. I'll be there. Me, Jose, and Sean Stewart, and a few other people will be there on Friday. I'll also be there on the 4th and the 6th of August. So we'll have a couple times where we actually get to see, eyes out there, boots on the ground, type of analysis. But as of right now, until they grant us some credentials, this is what we got. So we could only go ahead and talk about what we hear from the coaches and what we kind of, as a whole, hear from Twitter. And you could take what you want. Some people like to go above and beyond, and that's okay. Like there's a little bit of exaggeration, or I'll say overexcitement in some of these. Exaggeration is kind of I would say overexcitement, because it's not like they're trying to lie to you. I think it's just everybody's happy to see the Bears, even if it is in shells and shorts. So let's go ahead without further ado. Let's bring in Shane Waldron, the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears.
All right, how's everyone doing? Ready to get going in training camp here? I know you guys have been rolling, covering everything, so excited to be back. Appreciative of you guys covering us and the attention all of our guys get to receive because of it. So start out and hear what you guys got for questions.
What's been your impression of Caleb through? I know it's just 2 pretty live practices. So what do you think?
I think Caleb did a great job, ending OTAs, ending that portion of the rookie segment at the end, and then showing up back here at training camp a step ahead of where he left. So shows that he did a great job during his time away from the building, owning the offense, understanding different calls, and able to come out here and these first 2 practices and operate at a much higher level than what we left it. And we know it's not where the final product is, but every day we see these incremental improvements leading up to that first game. That's our main goal on offense.
And when you say it's a step ahead, it's just in terms of knowing the playbook, knowing the cadence, what really is this?
I think just the overall operation, getting in and out of the huddle. We know that for all of our guys, that the transition as rookies into the NFL, there's so many different systems that guys were part of. And so there's newness to everything that's involved, a new system here, a new way of doing things. And, there's a lot of similarities and carryover, but you got to convert verbiage. You got to, and the faster you're not converting it every time, and hey, what we say is, or means exactly this, then you're playing that much faster when you're getting out of the huddle.
When it comes to the quick game and some of the off the screen things that you guys do, what do you see in Caleb in terms of his quickness and his ability to handle that with a pretty good pace.
Yeah, I think his ability to change his arm angle, get the ball out quick, adjust to different throws in those, whether they're bubbles or slants, quick game, all that area of the field. It's something that he demonstrated a high level of ability at in college, and something that, has been part of every offense that you're a part of. And, as we get through it and we'll learn our different players' strengths and weaknesses and build the system around our players and what they can do.
What did you make of 2-minute drill today, specifically the 3rd and 10 first down to Keenan Allen? A couple plays later, throw would look like an interception to Tyreek Stevenson.
Yeah, that was a good one there. And, those situations that come up in practice, can't get enough of them. And, that was a unique one there at the end where clock is, down pretty low right there. So needing to get into field goal range, needing to be aggressive with the ball. Also knowing it's an end of half situation or end of game situations, we'll mix and match those things. So it's a good chance to be aggressive and then defensively making a great play on the ball right there.
He had to take a shot there.
Yeah, he's taking a good shot right there and trying to get the offset throw, and didn't quite work out, and defense made a good play. But, the mindset and knowing when those are the right opportunities, like that situation right there, or knowing when we're, in or out of field goal range, outside, inside, weather, all those things that come into play. So we'll get a bunch of those, and different scenarios will play out different ways at the end of each one of them.
Real quick, just, like we mentioned before, and there's people out there that are like, oh no, Caleb Williams better be, 18-0 and have 500 touchdowns and like 1 interception. I'm over exaggerating, obviously, but there's people out there that think that because of the rhetoric around Caleb Williams, why he's been better than Justin Fields. I don't know. Their logic is that Caleb is supposed to go ahead and win the Super Bowl year 1, but in my eyes, it's like, again, you look back at even some Hall of Fame quarterbacks, their first years never really went perfectly. You know what I'm saying? We all point to Peyton Manning as one of the, biggest ones. He was not very good in his first couple of years. Excuse me. He wasn't good in his, first couple of years. He saw the promise, had a lot of interceptions. When you're going and you're learning and the situation is, hey, I have this option. It might be tough, but I'm going to go ahead and try to make it. I'm okay with some risk, but it's the recklessness that I'm really I would be more worried about. If Caleb was just going over there throwing reckless passes out in practice where it shouldn't have been picked, and there's concern, I'm sure that you would hear these guys word some of the answers differently. But again, as long as Caleb can do the small things, right? In and out of the huddle, clear cadence, get the ball out quickly, I'm sure he's going to continue to progress. But again, like I said, if it's recklessness, it needs to be corrected. But if it's him where it's a situation where, hey, man, I got to get rid of the ball, here's an option downfield, and a guy just makes a play on it, I'm not going to go ahead and chastise him for that.
Was that an end of half or an end of game?
End of half right there.
They didn't throw the ball a ton to the running backs here the last year, the year before that. You put a premium on involving your backs in the passing game, and if so, how does DeAndre and maybe the other guys kind of fit in?
Yeah, I think, well, first of all of our backs that are here right now, and with Chad Morton leading the way for those guys, have done a great job of really developing as route runners in the offseason program. And I think, different guys are going to have different skill sets, different running backs. Swift has shown that ability to be an excellent route runner in a lot of different phases of the pass game. And I think it's like all of our players right now, we want to expose them to a lot of different elements. And then as we get closer to game plan mode and the game plan week, what our different guys' skill sets present will be the direction that we're able to take the offense from a system standpoint. And, if every year is a year-to-year league with different skill sets. And so guys that are presenting themselves as playmakers with the ball in their hand, if it's in the pass game, if they're, tilted more towards runners, we'll develop that and we'll look into that. And then that helps us, again, mold what the offense looks like by the time that first game arrives.
That can help your young quarterback if you go from that first and 10 to second and 5
Yeah.
as opposed to second and 10, right?
Absolutely. The backs, the tight ends, guys that a lot of time are operating in that underneath zone in the coverage, finding completions to those guys, keeping the chains moving, staying ahead of the chains and playing efficient. So if we do get to a third down, we're in those third and manageables more than those third and long. So, both of those groups, that's something we know and expect that they can do and will help us throughout the course of the season.
Shane, is there anything that you're doing to help Caleb learn the verbiage and just learn how to use a verbal cadence? Because he doesn't have as much familiarity with doing that.
I think, with Caleb and with all of our guys, exposing them to a lot of different ways of hearing it, being a teacher that's multiple in the ways that we approach our guys. All of our assistant coaches and are doing it that way. Coach Flus does it that way. And, some guys might learn a little bit better from a drawing. Some guys, the verbal cues, other guys are watching tape. And so for us on offense and with Caleb and the new guys, all of our guys that are new to the system, just finding out what ways work best for them and exposing a lot of different variation within that, and then honing in on specific guys might ask for something, a little bit more in terms of notes, or other guys might ask for some more clips. So we'll tailor it to every guy, with that big picture approach of being, unique in our coaching styles in different ways, so that we're trying to reach out and make sure everyone understands what's going on.
How nice was it to get Rome back today?
Say that. Sorry.
You got Rome back today, and where is he in terms of his comfort with the offense and his knowledge of the offense?
Yeah, it's great to have Rome back out there, working his way back into it. He already got a, bonus with, the way he worked in OTAs, the way he was initially here. So I think, he's a guy that picks up right where he leaves off every single time, getting a little bit better from, just like Caleb did from the time off, to getting back here with his knowledge of what we're doing. And then now getting back out here, and also knowing that it's a, training camp is a long period of time right there, especially for these rookies. So, with all of our guys, being smart with them and, adjusting to the individual needs of the players, I think is important. So each day there's going to be different plans, and with the rep counts or whatever it is, with that ultimate goal of putting them in the best position to show off their talents in this time of year.
Center competition, those Coleman Shelton out there today, Ryan Bates yesterday.
Yep.
Does Caleb have say in that? I mean, can he be more comfortable with one center or the other, or is that strictly evaluated by you and Matt Eberflus and the rest of the coaching staff?
Yeah, I think for us right now, the center position, we got two guys that are just great pros that have a great overall understanding of it. So Caleb's got great comfort level with either or right there. He's at that point of the learning process where, he's worried about his own area right there. And, as he grows and continues to learn the offense and the system, he'll have input as we go, I'm sure. But right now, I know both of those guys have been a good help to him with their professional approach and their ability to communicate to Caleb and to Tyson, to Rip, to Austin, to all the quarterbacks, hey, what we like, what we don't like, from the huddle to the cadence, and, working to get into that unison of what our operation looks like.
Well, I like that, because obviously one of the bigger concerns is the center position for the Chicago Bears, who's going to come out on top with it. There's also talk about signing outside help as well, but I don't, as of right now, this is, the competition is between the guys on the roster, and, getting familiar with Caleb getting familiar with the both of them, is a plus, because if it ends up just being, the guys on our roster, then, hey, it is what it is. If you go out and get some other center that's out there, or it just isn't working for some reason, then we'll worry about that when it comes. But as of right now, if they could help him in any way and he feels comfortable with the both of them, okay, just let's see how it plays out once we get the pads on, once we get to the first preseason game, because that's just, I like that they're veterans, that you got two veterans going after it, but I'd rather it be settled sooner rather than later.
And what's the benefit from having both of them in there? Just, they might have the little variance and nuance with their quarterback center exchange. For him, what do you look for in terms of, what it looks like with Bates versus what it looks like with Coleman? Yeah,
I think the biggest benefit for us as the Bears is we have a great competition right there with two, really able players that can start in this league. And so I think anytime we get competitions like that at different positions, and there's several going on during camp, you're just going to raise the level of play of those guys, which ultimately raises the level level of play of our team. And then from an adjustment standpoint, I think it's good for all the quarterbacks to have, understanding of what the little nuances are from, one center to the next, and making sure, knowing that every play starts out with that exchange right there, and how important the ball security is, and the turnover margin is in this league, to know that, hey, I can adjust in a game if something's off a little bit, no matter what the center is, no matter who's playing, and knowing there could be certain games where, different players sub in and out, and everyone's got to roll together and be as one.
I know it's early on here, but as you look at the offensive line in particular, when do you want to shift from kind of the idea of competition to continuity and what that can be for a young quarterback? When is it important to have that transition really take place?
Yeah, I think in my mind, like, the competition's always going. So been places where we were fortunate enough to have depth at offensive line in the past, where you see that stuff, result in wins in the future. So I think there is a continuity aspect, but I think as the guys, we'll hone in on certain specific positions where guys might not be moving around as much, as we get into camp. But in terms of, the different guys that, at two deep at the offensive line that can work with the ones, I think it's paramount to have that, just like it is with every position. So, when the time is right, in terms of, guys have established the starting role at each spot, and there's different levels to that at each position, we'll make those judgments. But I think there's a human element always to the competitions, and understanding when that right time isn't going to be the same for every single competition or every single player. And the more guys that play, the better our depth is as the season goes.
I understand that you guys aren't going to win past another 5 days.
Mhm.
What do you need to see from Caleb kind of between now and then, even if it's just shorts of the t-shirt? Or what are you looking to see?
Yeah, I think the realistic decision making, knowing that it's an unrealistic time of year without the pads, and some of the things that we ask our guys to do to protect themselves in those different team settings. And there's certain tempos where, hey, we're going at a moderated tempo right here, so it's not going to play out realistically for this part of the play, but you got to continue out and bank a real full speed rep. So I think the more times that he can adjust and adapt to the different tempos that occur this time of year for these first couple practices, and still get the full play, so he has that live rep, so that when we do go and put the pads on, we get to game time, he started to accumulate as many full speed mental and physical reps as he can get.
On those lines, how important is it to you for him to play a bunch in the preseason?
Yeah, I think, we'll play him in the preseason. I think it's important to get out there and have an understanding of what an NFL game's like, all the nuances, to the officials, to where the shot clock is, the hashes, playing all those stuff in a new stadium, different stadiums. So I think adjusting that and getting around his guys. But then in terms of the reps, we'll have a plan for that, and we'll keep that, in-house for what we're doing with all of our guys. But there'll be a plan in place, and we'll get to those reps where we feel like he's at a point, where he's comfortable and ready to go for the regular season.
Again, I have mentioned it yesterday, or it was yeah, sorry, or the other day, Saturday. I'm sorry, I mentioned it Saturday. Excuse me. I feel like Caleb Williams, what the plan is in my eyes, especially the way that they've been talking, and I'm talking about Ryan Poles and Coach Eberflus, about the urgency of every rep. I think Caleb plays at minimum a quarter and a half, but in my eyes, if you're really trying to get him prepared in 3 preseason games, he's got to play a half. And it's, you're talking about getting him acclimated quickly. You need him to really get a taste of the NFL. And, you heard Justin, when he got his first taste of the preseason, it seemed like he said everything it seemed slower. He was obviously wrong, but I just want to see him take it seriously and execute, like with execution, right? Like not trying to go out and win the game, but when you're trying to when you get your drives, when you get your time, every rep, like they've been mentioning, every play, it needs to be taken with that type of mentality. And that's just the approach that I would want and expect from Caleb. A quarter and a half to a half is where I expect them to play Caleb Williams.
As you've grown over the years as a coordinator and a play caller, what do you see as sort of your strengths inside of games?
inside of games, I think, the ability, especially like at the end of half or end of game last year, we had some good and some that didn't work out. And I think as a play caller, really learning and understanding those end of half, end of game scenarios, knowing that stuff happens so fast, there's so many different variations of what could go on, whether with the clock or the timeout situation, the field position. So just like with the players, I think as a play caller, the more reps you get in those varied situations, the more comfortable you become with them. And so I feel like that's an area I'll always be continuing to grow in that area as a play caller, and something I'm striving to be my best every single week, knowing that there's always going to be a learning op.
Shane, Tyler Scott was a guy last year who was looked as a guy who could really emerge as a playmaker. He's been kind of pushed in the background a little bit with the Dunze and Allen and stuff like. Well, what has he done, or what does he have to do to kind of rise above that and become a factor?
Yeah, since I've been around Tyler, he's put his head down and worked hard. You see his twitchiness, his speed that he can use to get into the defense. He's done a great job as far as his knowledge of the playbook and the system, transitioning from one offense to the next this year. So I think he just keeps going out and competing every single day, and he's right in the mix and making some nice plays in practice and ready to go, and he'll have his shot.
Will that be a challenge for him to get opportunities with so many established guys? Or
obviously,
I think that's the balance of the offense as a whole is trying to figure out, who's going to get the ball, right? There's one football every single snap, and we know whether it's Tyler or it's Keenan and DJ and Rome, all the receivers that are involved in this. There's going to be their ops, and they have to maximize when those ops occur. And the more positive reps you put on tape in practice, the better your competitive nature is throughout the course of practice, throughout the course of the preseason games. Those ultimately establish what your role will be during the regular season.
In short, and that is literally the last question with Shane Waldren. In short, when your number's called, make the fucking play. That's how you get more playing time. When the ball is thrown to you, catch the football. When you get the handoff, don't fumble it. Go forward. Like, that's pretty much what Shane Waldren was saying right there. Because, obviously, yeah, you have two really good, all-pro wide receivers. You have a really good first-round draft pick, a potential, potential is through the roof with him. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. They said this at the beginning of the season before anything. You said, hey, Ryan Poles said it is going to be difficult to make this team. Good. I like that. I want it to be hard to make. I want the competition to be fierce. They're already alluding to that. They've continued to preach that mentality. So, hey, man, if you don't get the job done, next man up. That's what it is. If you can't get the job done, they're going to find somebody who can. So you better get your job done. All right, we're going to go ahead to the players. This is from yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and get the interviews from today, or from yesterday and today. But we're going to first do Sunday's interviews. This is the players, Kevin Byard, DeAndre Swift, and Jaquan Brisker.
Everybody doing?
How are you?
Good.
Kevin is a relative newcomer to this defense. What are you sensing right now in your state of camp about what this defense has to work with in terms of the pieces and the talent?
A lot of pieces, a lot of talent. I see a lot of confidence, very confident group. I think expectations kind of been talked about a lot this offseason. I think we all kind of understand that, and we're working to live up to those expectations. But, we're just going to take it day by day, continue to work, continue to build this group, keep building this culture, not only just with the defense, but the entire team. We want to be able to bring that energy so the entire team can feel it.
How did that defensive confidence first resonate with you?
I think when you're playing defense, you need to be confident. You got to have the ability to want to fly around. And, we have a lot of guys that can do that. I can, just start naming off guys. But I think at every level of the defense, we have leaders, we have energy, guys that's going to go out there and show that confidence to bring that swagger every single day.
Jalen told us yesterday, I know you weren't here last year, but he said last year his style of leadership was grabbing guys more one-on-one. This year he feels like he's more confident getting up in front of the group. How have you seen that play out so far?
I mean, we know Jalen is one of the better corners in this league. I just think guys should be who they are. If that's his style of leadership, he should show that every day. Everybody's going to be different. Some guys are going to be, or really just depends on who it is. Because I think some guys, maybe you need to just pull them to the side and have a one-on-one talk. Some guys, you got to kind of fire them up in front of the team. It just depends. Every situation is different, but I would just always tell guys to be who they are and just be the same person every single day. You don't have to go outside your character to try to show something different. Just be who you are. And if all 11 kind of just does that, I think we'll be fine.
You felt comfortable just jumping in and being vocal, obviously that's new here.
Yeah, 100%. That's just who I am. I'm going to be vocal. I've been vocal everywhere I've been. Ever since I've been playing football, that's just who I am. So I'm not going to change that at all. But also, I'm going to lean on some of the other veterans, other guys like Tremaine Edmonds. He's a vocal guy, and we got a lot of alphas in the room. So you got to give space to let everybody be alphas. But when you feel like you need to say something or feel like you want to be the guy to kind of hype everybody up that day, I just try to do my part.
What do you think of Tyreek's interception today?
It was clean. I was actually behind the play, so I didn't even think he caught it at first. But when he made the play, it was awesome to see. Tyreek's a young guy who had a really good ending of last year, 4 picks. Really excited for him this year to go out there and get some more turnovers. So you just see the energy of the defensive backs and how hungry we are to go out there and try to make plays every single day.
Evan, what's been good about the move, about the change for you? And I don't know exactly what your situation is with your family as far as where they're going to be. Mm-hmm. What's been good about it?
Well, for me, it's just like a reset. It's my first time having a training camp outside of Nashville. That's been pretty cool. My family is flying up in the next few days, still trying to pack up some stuff at the house. But it's going to be fun to come to a new city like Chicago. Really excited. The family's really going to enjoy the city, especially my kids. A lot of stuff for them to do. But yeah, I'm just excited. Just a new chapter of this journey, and I'm just embracing it.
Kevin, you've talked to us before about your pride in not ever really missing time and being at work every day and grinding through it. How do you describe your approach to sort of squeezing the most out of training camp at this stage of your career?
Yeah, I mean, it's every training camp's a little different. For me, it's all about routine. Try to stick to the same routine every day. Go to sleep at the same time. Wake up at the same time. Eat the same food. I want everything to feel the same. It's a lot about meetings, pre-practice, warm-up, everything. So, because I think a lot of that is injury prevention, all those type of things. And also just being a leader by example. I want some of the young guys to see how I prepare, how I do things, make sure I'm getting my conditioning in, staying after and getting extra work after practice. Like I said, I think for any successful person, they will always tell you routine is the best thing to try to do.
You said eat the same food. Do you literally the same meal or?
Well, they change up for lunch and dinner, but like for breakfast, I'm just like oatmeal, berries, throw a little cinnamon, some honey on there, cut up like 6 small pieces of bananas. It got to be 6. You know what I mean? And just go out there and go to practice. Yeah, like I said, I just like to have everything the same. Try to get with the trainers at the same time. Hot tub at the same. I mean, and it could be a couple minutes off. You know what I mean? But I try to stick to the same stuff over and over again because I want everything to feel the same.
When you camp lasts 50 some odd days, is this the longest camp you've been a part of? And do you have to pace yourself? Where does that go?
I don't know about pacing myself, but it does feel weird that we got a game on the first of the month. You know what I mean? That's a little different. But no, I wouldn't say pacing myself. It's really just about making sure I'm just maintaining, like body weight, maintaining, just as far as just my recovery and stuff like that. And that's what I'm still trying to get with some older guys, get some other guys on the team about their practitioners or whatever that they see, making sure I'm staying on top of all that stuff. But now I don't pace myself. I try to empty the tank every day and then just, fill it back up and then do it again.
How do you feel like your relationship with
That's interesting. Being a veteran, well, you've heard how he tries to take care of his body. It seems like, obviously his body, and it should be on the mind of every, athlete. You taking care of your body is number one. Kevin Byard, obviously, as a veteran, he understands that and is really, taking the time to condition it to feed it, feed himself correctly. And if he's able to do that, as a veteran, in his, what was this, his 9th, 10th year, something like that, kudos to him. obviously it's it speaks volumes to not only his discipline and determination, but his leadership. Like he's like, this is he should, our younger players should be looking and listening to that and being like, okay, if a guy like Kevin Byard in almost his 10th year can continue to play at a high level and continue to give as much as he gives in even in the training camp practice, like maybe you can too. But obviously, you get young guys, they want to do what they want to do. I was young too, like all of us, so it's easier said than done. But Kevin Byard being able to do this and play as hard as he is as a veteran is pretty impressive.
Juan has developed over the few months you've been here?
It's been really good. He actually texted me last night right before I went to bed, just like, hey, did you see anything on film or anything like that? And we kind of discussed some, some other scheme stuff or whatever. But it's been really good. Like I said before, he's a guy that reminds me of myself when I was a younger player, very hungry. He wants to be all pro. And I love that about him. He wants to be the best, and that's how you have to be. And like I said, every single day, we're always talking. We're trying to get our communication down to a point where we can just kind of just look at each other. We can already know what we're kind of talking about. So, but it's been good so far. Like I said, excited to work with him this year.
You said back in June that this was kind of the first time. It's different from with him and Eddie, but like with you guys playing right and left. What's the benefit of that, I guess, for with you showing offense?
Yeah, I mean, I think in this league, quarterbacks, offensive coordinators, watching film, you're just trying to get a beat on a team by alignments, disguises, and things like that. You're gonna see certain quarterbacks that have seen so many different coverages. They're gonna just be able to look at a guy and see where he's aligned and say, "How I know what this coverage is." So the more we can kind of switch it up, the better. And that'll change week by week, depending on the teams that we play. Whether if it's blitzes and things like that, it'll change up. But for the most part, we're just trying to mix up as much as we can. And it's good for Caleb. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to try to throw everything at him because first game of the year or whatever it may be, another team's going to do the same thing. So we're trying to get him prepared just as much as we are trying to prepare ourselves.
Speaking of the first game of the year, are you looking forward to facing your old team, or are you not even thinking about that?
I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of the guys. It is going to be just another game, but I'll be lying to say I'm not looking forward to it. I was just in Nashville training, and then obviously you see some of the guys. We kind of go through the same gym. I've seen a lot of guys in the off season, so we're all anticipating for sure. So I think it'd be a little bit different if we was going to Tennessee, but the fact it's going to be here. But no, man, I'm definitely excited. I'm excited to see the other guys. Excited to try to go get one against Will. It'll be fun.
You mentioned challenging Caleb. I know it's only been 2 practices, but what are your initial impressions with the first team defense going up against first team offense?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just carry over from OTAs. A lot of competition, some trash talk here and there. Even trash talking with the coaches a little bit is pretty fun. We're doing 7-on-7 and they're getting 5-yard checkdowns. Like, they're just talking trash. It's just funny. But no, I mean, that's just what it is. Just the competitive spirit. We're all bringing it every single day. But like I said, even with Caleb, I think he's doing really good. Obviously, as we continue to go, it's going to be more offensive installs, going to be more defensive installs. So excited to continue to just make him better. And that's what it's all about. We're trying to make each other better.
Kevin, back to your eating routine. Does this mean you eat clean? There's like no trips to fast food. Are you kind of getting on some of the younger guys to clean up the way they eat as well?
You got to give those guys time because I've been there. I eat pretty clean. I try to have a cheat meal like once a week or something like that. But usually during training camp, there's no cheat meals, because we're practicing every single day, so no cheat meals. But I eat pretty clean. For the most part, I don't eat a lot of beef during this time. Try to, stay lean, stay light. A lot of fish, chicken, leafy vegetables, and a little bit of grains. I try to do no grains at dinner, like no carbs at dinner or something like that. So, yeah, but I'm pretty clean. During the season, I try to eat clean. I may have one cheat meal, and that's usually like we go out to a DB dinner. Might have some appetizers, might have some calamari, stuff like that. But no fast food. I don't eat any really junk food or chips. I save all that for the off season.
For something with the 6 slices of banana, something with the number 6.
I don't know. I just started doing it, and it's like I just stick to it for some reason. But it's nothing with the number, but it's just I just sliced it 6 times, and I think that's good to go.
Who's the most trash talking coach out there? And does Flus ever engage?
Nah, Flus don't really talk a lot of trash. The running back coach talks a lot of trash. Because, like, you know, we go to the sideline, everybody's up on man, we kind of just getting hype. He always just want to walk in the huddle. You know what I'm saying? So next time he might get scooped up a little bit just to let him know stop getting in our huddle. But no, it's fun. I actually he's actually my favorite offensive coach, honestly, just because of that. Just that the energy that he brings every single day. And that's what you want, man. As a team, it's not just about offense, defense. You kind of want to be able to mingle around and stuff like that. So it's just fun. And you need that during training camp because it gets long. So you want to be able to just have some fun throughout.
Is David Overstreet like in an extension of the defensive backs? Because he seems something louder than you guys.
Pretty much. Sometimes you think that he's going to throw some shoulder pads or throw a helmet on and go out there with us. I feel like DB coaches need to be the loudest coaches on the whole entire team. You know, that's just the swag that we bring when they be able to talk trash. Don't want nobody to catch the ball on us. But yeah, it's definitely exciting.
Kevin, going back to you and Jaquan, how long does it realistically take for you to develop that chemistry where you don't even have to say something, you just know that you're both on the same page?
Well, it takes time. I'm not even gonna lie. My first, I think this was this was year 3. I played with a guy, Kenny Vaccaro, and we played, I think, 3 years together. And it probably took us a year or two. But it varies. I played with Amani Hooker for a couple years. We kind of had that chemistry. But I think as I get older, it's a little bit easier to be able to mesh with guys and stuff like that. And really just kind of learn each other play styles, what he likes to do. Obviously, he's an aggressive guy. He wants to go down in the box. He wants to blitz. He wants to do those things. So sometimes you got to just give them the freedom to do what they want to do sometimes. But at the same time, switch it up, kind of get a quarterback a different look to keep guys off balance. So I think it happened pretty fast. But like you said, it's not really putting a timetable on it. We're just going to keep filling each other out and have fun.
All good. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it. Yes.
So before we get to DeAndre Swift, again, just veteran guy, the questions did kind of go off the rails there a little bit. Muck. I was the banana question when they brought the banana back up, I was like, God, just let him finish. Let's get through this. Like, you don't have to. Doesn't have to be anything special. Like, he's not wearing the number 6. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but it is what it is. But anyway. This is DeAndre Swift live at the podium. Or not live at the podium, on Sunday at the podium, excuse me.
Everybody's starting to learn the offense together a couple months ago. What role did you play in helping Caleb kind of grasp some of the concepts that maybe you've seen as a pro before, even in a different scheme?
Just taking it day by day with him. Know he got a lot on his plate. A lot being thrown at him every single day. But he's doing a great job with commanding the offense since we came back until he got a better grasp of everything. So just giving him little pointers when we break the huddle, stuff to keep his mind rolling before we say hut and hike the ball. But he's been doing a great job.
What ways have you seen him be a little sharper the last couple of days than he was before you break?
Like I said, he got a better grasp of it. This from the outside looking in, but real quick mindset, making smarter plays, I would say, quicker plays. You could just tell he's in a better space. Like I said, that comes along with time. Getting a better understanding of the offense. He had time off, so he had more time to study the offense. So you could tell he's made strides since he's been back.
Shane came in with a reputation as being a really good teacher. As he's kind of started to put his offense in, what's left an impression on you both about the way he kind of teaches you guys about it and how he kind of molds it as well as you guys?
For sure. That's something I noticed early on as soon as I got here. This is attention to detail with everything. Every install is attention to detail. And the offense is really balanced, so we're going to major in every aspect of part of ball. So I'm just excited to be in his offense.
How important do you think you can be in the receiving game and be a safety valve outlet for Caleb Williams? It seems like we're seeing some of that the first couple of days.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I'd be very valuable in that aspect. Especially helping Caleb when stuff ain't open down the field. I'm available.
Were you hoping you'd get a little more involved in the pass game in Philadelphia last season?
Always been the type of guy, whatever they call, whatever type of role I get, I'm gonna make do with that. So I'm never gonna complain about not getting the passes or anything like that. But I just kind of made the best of my situation. I'm gonna put it like that.
I mean, that's something you did pretty well when you were in Detroit, right?
For sure. So my mindset kind of shifted. What I was asked to do, I'm gonna do that to 100% of my ability. So I wasn't asked to run routes as much. So that's fine. So I'm gonna show different elements of my game. So I feel like I can do whatever.
Last year's really kind of a breakthrough year for you in terms of production. What's your motivation level to top that, to take you to another level here?
Just improving every single year, and I feel like I've done that in some aspect of some sort. So just continue to up my game, up my level. That's really what it's all about for me.
What type of individual goals do you have? And are you looking at like certain yardage, certain touchdowns, that kind of thing?
Team success first. I think team success first, but then brings individual success. We got a whole new group here, so that's really what my focus is. We winning, then I'm sure I'll be a part of that in a great way. So team success first.
You learned enough about Shane's, like kind of how Shane deploys his running backs to know kind of what this backfield could look like? Because it looked like in Seattle there was a trend, kind of a two-back system for the last couple of years. This place is used. It's just it was different with the last coordinator. But do you know enough about how Shane will probably end up using running back splits and all that?
Oh no, you're talking about as far as like with playing time and stuff like that?
In terms of like kind of like the personnel and all of that, like can you get a feel for that now, or is that something that takes longer of learning it?
Yeah, well, it takes time. I say we day two of practice and training camp, so I guess that type of stuff will play out as time goes on. Yeah.
DeAndre, Chad Morton, I guess, is one of the more vocal on this team. What's
Sure.
it been like in this, just worked with him the first year?
It's cool, man. It's cool seeing a different personality like that. Real energetic every single day, exciting coach to be a part of, to play for. Gonna bring that juice and energy every single day, so I'm excited to play for him.
Do he and Homer have a certain bond? I know they were in Seattle together, but even during OTAs and minicamp, he was always yelling at him, like hyping him up, sort of.
Yeah, for sure. It's cool. It's cool because they have a relationship before. That both were in Seattle, so they do got a unique relationship, and it's kind of like he's yelling at him, but it's coming from a love kind of thing. You know what I mean? So because they had time beforehand, so it's cool.
You call him like a player's coach, I guess.
For sure. He's making sure sometimes he wants us to meet in like a player lounge to make sure we got the boots on our legs, just to make sure it's things like that, to make sure we're ready to go every single day. So I definitely say he's a player coach. Yeah.
Byard was just saying that Morton's the greatest trash talking coach. that accurate?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. You can say that.
Have you seen him walk in the defensive huddle?
Every single day. I don't know if y'all saw him today, right before 7-on-7. Tremaine kind of looked at me and looked at him like, bro, get your coach. Like, so yeah, he talking to the defense, got to get them guys going. But it's cool, man. It's cool.
Have the Hard Knock guys noticed that? I mean, I feel like that might be a good.
You would think he want to do that for the cameras, but he don't. Every time the cameras come around, he kind of go the other way. So that's just him. That's just him. So man, it's a fun personality to be around.
So are you noticing the cameras a lot out there?
No, I don't really focus on that. No, not at all. No.
Are you anticipating going back to Detroit?
I'm anticipating for game 1. I'm anticipating for practice tomorrow. I ain't really focused on Detroit at all.
Thanks, DeAndre.
Have a good one, y'all.
Yeah, very excited about DeAndre Swift. Again, like you guys are saying, one of the better signings. Kerry was saying another great signing by Ryan Poles. DeAndre wasn't, it was a good question where they asked, how was he? I think it was Brad Biggs who asked it, maybe why he wasn't utilized more in the passing game or whatnot. And he responded, very on point. It might sound to you like it's a, just kind of going along the lines, like just saying what he's got to say to get out of the question. But I really think that in his mind, he's, I'm going to do what I have to do. There's guys that are just like that. If they don't want to be the disruptor, they don't want to combat what's going on, because you have to be a part of the team. Like if it's friction between you and your coaches and the communication's off and you want to do one thing, they want to do another, obviously that's going to cause issue, amongst them and you, and obviously it might end up into the locker room as well. But I believe him when he says that he will do what you ask him to do. But let's go ahead and start utilizing what he's really good at. And, putting him in the passing game will help tremendously, not only for his career, but for the Chicago Bears as well.
We had Kevin in here just a little bit ago, and he's just kind of talking about how your relationship continues to grow. What would you describe as his presence as it relates to kind of being a part of your world now?
his presence is felt every single day, especially his vet presence. Especially in the meeting room, he's very vocal. He's talking, he's trying to tell us what he sees and things like that. So I feel like that's very important, especially for us and the DB, just so we see what he sees.
As a follow-up to that, he was saying how you text him or called him and said, hey, you seen anything on video? How important is that to you?
It's important just because I just want to see what he sees and then vice versa. I want to be on the same page, especially since he just came in. So, I want to be on point. I want to be the number one defense, the number one secondary. So I want to make sure everything is right. So,
Jaquan, how do you feel that chemistry has gone with you and Kevin on the field in terms of knowing, again, your assignments, where you both need to be? How's that gone so far?
to be honest, I feel like
Somebody bumped the
us
camera?
together, it's been great. To be honest, I feel like we've been playing together for so long. We've been doing so many disguises, been playing off each other. It feels great, to be honest. I'm glad he's here, and it's gonna be special.
You sent that post about ball hawking. Your time is now. Just talk about bringing that mentality every day and how you guys try to have that impact the rest of the defense.
Just be consistent. Be consistent. Take the ball away. Be vocal. Have communication out there. Things like that. That's important. And then we've been playing with each other for so long. So it's about that time to take that next step.
You've seen Jalen from, I guess it was your first year, was his third, and then
Yeah.
to watch him like flourish last year. What was the biggest change just watching him play for him kind of coming into his own as like one of the league's best shutdown corners?
Turnovers, his technique, the way he comes in every single day, the same person. He's a great man, great person on and off the field. So really, he's been the same person every single day. He just attacked the ball last year even more than his other seasons, and I think that's what took him over. And he's really been the same person. So I appreciate Jalen every single day.
What stood out to you just about his approach to last season when he says he's going to bet on himself and it works out the way that it did?
He's always locked in. So what really stood out was just how he was the same person every single, like he was like really consistent every single day. So just looking at that, that was very important to me and everybody else, just because he works hard. He doesn't really say too much. He's vocal, but he just lets his work do the talking. So I feel like that was very important for us to see, just because he wasn't worried about the money or anything. He just put his head down and just worked. So that's what came out of it.
Was there a point that you noticed like quarterbacks stopped targeting him as much?
No, I say they was trying him, and that's how he got his turnovers. And then some of those should have been interceptions. He had a couple that should have been interceptions. So they tried him. So I'll say it was here and there, but you could tell he wasn't getting too many targets here and there. But they did try him, and he made them pay. So.
Well, you were pretty confident coming into the league, but 2 years later, like how much different are you? What do you know now that you didn't know then that can really make you an even better player? What's the difference now versus when you came in?
When I first came in, probably like 215. Now I'm down to 204. My footwork, my pad level, coach help me develop with that. And then just knowledge of the game, just like certain formations, certain tendencies, and then just being myself. I'll say that.
With regard to that, how about attitude-wise? I know you want to be a leader. You've been a leader.
Mm-hmm.
How much more prepared are you to kind of take that next step and be, I wouldn't say the face of the defense, but certainly one of the voices of the defense as opposed to when you first come in?
I'm definitely more prepared. Just the off season, what I did in the off season, just how I've been approaching it every single day, and then my body's right. Once my body's right, everything else is easy to me. So as long as I'm healthy and out there, it's easy. So I'm healthy, so I'm ready.
When you look at those three corners.
Well, I'm glad he's healthy. This is a big year for Jaquan Brisker. James has doubt that he's on the roster next year. I have the same type of doubt. Like I said, he's got the talent. I'm glad he's saying that he's found some. I guess he's found maturity. As far as a leader, I think he's a guy that should just lead by example. You know what I mean? He did the same thing Kevin Byard said. Just be who you are, do your job, and things should work out. So he doesn't need to go out and be some type of rah-rah guy or, just be, somebody that he's not. It's just be who you are and let's see how that works for you. Because regardless of the situation with his contract, I'd rather him go in 100% healthy, 100% confident, and focus, and let's see if he could have a really big year for us and make the decision difficult for the Chicago Bears.
Corners in front of you, and then you and Kevin on the back end. There just seems to be such an edge in the secondary. What do you feel in that regard in terms of what you guys have to work with there?
Really, I feel like we got something special. We call ourselves the Avengers. We got a lot of superheroes out there, as you can see. But really, we want to establish the physicality out there that we're not going, nobody can, mess with us, and then show a ball hawking ability, a playmaking ability. That's why we're here. So everybody has it, and we're really just trying to, put our foot down this year and show them what we got.
I know you can only show so much physicality, obviously, right now with the rules that exist. But how have your first 2 days been? And there was a play yesterday, I think, on Tyler Scott in the end zone where it was about to get physical. It felt like.
Yeah, sure. Really, just playing out there, playing full speed, going after the ball. Everybody just going after the ball, and then obviously, we're playing man to man, and able to press receivers a little bit. So we're showing our physicality that way, and then talking, being vocal, letting the offense know we're here.
Have you guys maybe taken additional sense of pride in maybe having to carry the team while the offense comes along in the early part of the season?
I feel like the defense always has to carry the team. Defense wins championships. So that's not really nothing new, but we like, having, that on our plate. That's what we want this year. And, we got the talent to do it. We got the stars to do it. Now it's just time to put it, all together.
I liked it. I liked the answer. It was, he had an attitude with it, but that's a good type of attitude to have, especially if you're trying, your goal as a unit on defense is to be top 10 or better, right? Top 10, top 5, or bust. That's pretty much what their mindset is. And Jaquan, he said it perfectly. Hell, yeah, we always got to carry the team. Defense wins championships. I just, again, I love the mindset. I wish him nothing but the best. Thank God he's healthy. Let's see what happens with Jaquan Brisker. He's had me excited. He's had me excited for a few years now, ever since we got him signed. Let's see if he can put it all together. I'm hoping so, because after him saying that, I'm like, yeah, I want to see a Bears game right now. Let's see you guys hit somebody right now. So anyway, let's go back to Jaquan.
A lot of talk about Javon and how you guys need him to kind of take over. What have you seen from him and how he's grown from last year to now? Just
workhorse. He's a workhorse for sure. He shows up every single day. You can tell he's locked in. He's a changed man. He got married too, so he's locked in for sure. You could tell, he's really locked in on his details. He's being very disciplined, and he's just trying to learn every single day. And he's talking a little bit more too. He cut his hair off, so he's definitely. Grown. He's grown, but he works hard for sure. Even during OTAs, you've seen it. He's running past, linebackers and things like that. I'm not gonna say linebacker. I ain't gonna say that. Everybody's running, but he's definitely out there running on full speed. Showing that he's trying to stay in shape, but he's working for something. You can tell. So,
Venture.
The Warrior. That's a made up one. So it's made up, but. It's all good.
Name. I know Kyler's picking the Spider-Man, but did someone just say we're going to be the Avengers?
I kind of said it on Twitter last year, and then it just kind of stuck. It might stick with us. I don't know. That's the first name so far.
You're not going with Mako Shark.
That's Coach Flus and the guys. I'm still, no, I'm midway warrior. I'll keep it right there.
You're happy to see Eddie find a new home?
Yes, I texted him immediately. I was so happy to see him, get a team. I know he worked so hard to get to this point, and he's gonna make plays. I know he will. He's in a great defense, so he'll be good.
All set.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Have a good day.
All right, that was Jaquan Brisker. Seems in good spirits. Says he's healthy, ready to go. Like I said, I like this answer when about the defense and how they carry the team. And like I said, that's a great mindset to have. For definitely for a guy in a need to do it year. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it. Like I said, I was excited before. Obviously, shit happens, but if as long as he's healthy and he stays healthy, I think Jaquan is going to have a solid year. All right, now we could come to today. This is Matt Eberflus. Earlier today, day 3 of Bears training camp. And here we go.
Thought it was a good day today. Excited to get the fans out there tomorrow, right? That'll be fun and exciting for our fans to be out there with the players and bring a little bit more juice. That will be good. In terms of you guys, right? I see that you guys got shade now in the bleachers, right? I mean, this is pretty amazing now. You need to thank George, Kevin, when you see him, right, and then Ryan, right? That was them getting it done. And what I'm going to do next thing, I'm going to bring lemonade out there for y'all. I think you guys will be all set up. But I thought today was good.
Well, you freaking better. Like I'll tell you what, we suffered enough in that heat. We didn't have to. I remember they executed they put the bleachers up for the I guess the VIP guests or whoever, and they had shade. And you look at all the fans, and they're just boiling in the heat. So it's about damn time you did something.
I really did. A lot of good situations. We got
Alan, what up?
Our third downs, so we can operate. The way we have practice set up, I think, is really conducive to learning. With the walkthroughs going in there before, going good on that, moving the ball down the field. That's a real operation, and I see that operation getting better every single day. You can see that out there. The pre-snap penalties are down, getting in and out of the huddle is good. And that's just because, we're learning the system, learning how to do it, and we're learning how to break the huddle, get to the line of scrimmage, and operate our motions and shifts and make our calls. And I think it's really been good. And Caleb is the apex of that. He's just got to keep getting better at it and keep progressing every single day. And I talked to the team about this, to be able to go through the process of you're going through those walkthroughs at night. Right. And then you come back and you got to walk through in the morning, and those got to be perfect. They're slow. It's easy. Right. Looks might be challenging sometimes with defense, but we should have some really good, perfect reps. And that's everybody. If that's Caleb, carrying out his fakes or whatever that might be, his footwork, ball handling, going through his reads, all that. That's got to be done really well in the walkthrough. And then you go to the drill work. The drill work is meant to be game speed. And why do we do that? We don't just go through drills half speed, because we have to hone the fundamentals at game speed, right? Then you get your 7-on-7 team drills. Those are all going at game speed for the most part until the end, and then that's, really game performance. That's how you do it. And you rinse and repeat and do it over and over again. So we're working with our young guys on that. I know the old guys understand that, the vets understand that, but really young guys got to go through that process. And it takes mental strength to be able to do that every single day, every rep, right? Because you're out there, we get a bunch of reps in, and that's the process we're going through right now. So with that, all questions.
Matt, does what Caleb does in practice, does that affect how much he plays in the preseason? Is that fluid? In other words, if he shows a certain level of readiness that he might play more or less or whatever?
No, I don't think that's tied together at all. I just think that we're going to have a plan in place. And of course, like I said, the line that's in front of him is important, and that will definitely dictate what's going on. But we have a plan in place of what we're going to do.
We talked about him what did you see from Caleb in those last 2 periods where it looked like you guys were working 2-minute drills and field goal, and was the very last one just last play got to get it in the end zone? Or?
Yeah. So it was the very last play, 4 seconds, and you're just from a distance, then another distance, and then the first one was 2-minute. Yeah, it was a 2-minute into game, need field goal.
So what did you see from Caleb during those?
Good. Operation was good. Made the 4th down. We had to go for it on 4th down. We made that. We still had plenty of time. And again, you're on a time constraint right now with these first 4 practices. We got to be under the 2 hour mark here. So that's why we cut it short and had,
Oh my God. Oh my God. Is that fucking real? I'm sorry if everybody got scared, had to turn down the, is that fucking real? A 2 hour, that's a 2 hour time limit? What the fuck? Like, look, I'm not saying put them out there for 6 fucking hours, but 2 hour time limit. Look, I'm looking at 3 as the cap. Like that 3 is where you got it, and you could walk through. You could do other things at the beginning of practice that aren't so intense. But damn, 2 hours. That's it. Or you're fucking gonna get a slap on the dick. That's what you're gonna get. The NFL's gonna kick you in the nuts for 2. Oh my God, ridiculous. Back to Flus.
Set Cairo out there.
After the 4th and 3, you guys had Cairo kicking field goals. Was it a process thing? Why not keep the drive going after that? Were they out of time or?
Yeah, that's what I just stated. Yeah. So we were close to the time, and I had to get him off the field.
We talked about the benefits of.
So you can't even finish the fucking drive? Oh my God! Oh my God! This is real life? This is real life? This cannot be true. Like, what in the fuck is going on there? Like, I don't understand that whatsoever. They should at least let you finish the drive. I mean, you're out here trying to catch guys up, that younger guys up to speed with the NFL game. You know, it's other guys need to get back in shape. I just don't understand why limiting the amount of time any of these players in the NFL have to prepare themselves to go. And I know the war analogy is always frowned upon, but to go to battle week in and week out in practice, in the games, like you got to let them be more, like you have to allow them to be more prepared than fucking that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go. We're gonna go back to Flu. Like if Flu says something else that I'm shocked about, I might just end the interview and just curse the Bears out for the rest of the show, or the NFL out for the rest of the show. But wow,
And adding veteran players who are good on the field help Caleb. But the fact that some of them are tacticians and can work with him off the field, Caleb told a story about, sitting at the hotel, with Keenan Allen during, in April and May, or I guess in May, learning the playbook. What's the benefit off the field of those guys, especially the ones who are known for being so precise at what they do, huddling with him and helping him get into this offense?
Yeah, that's actually part of the process I talked about, in the beginning. That's before the walkthrough, right? So spending time together, that's relational, right? Get to know each other better, feed off each other and quiz each other, and making sure that you're all on the same page in terms of the concept, the idea, the coverage contour. Does that change what we're doing? And making sure we're doing that.
Coach, I know it's early, no pads yet, but is there a time ideally that you would like to have that center position kind of settled so that Caleb can get the chemistry he needs with whoever's going to be there?
Yeah, I think you just let it go through. You let it go through the process. I told the guys today, you make the team or you make your position in pads, right? Those are the things that we evaluate. It's hard to evaluate, guys when we're out here and not in pads. The pass protection's hard. The pass rush is hard to really evaluate if a guy really can bore around the corner or if he really can protect, against the bull rush, because we put limits on the guys a little bit, what they can and cannot do, so we don't have injury when we're in shells like that. So you have to, because everybody's got to stay on their feet. But once we get pads on, they got to stay on their feet. But then they're able to bowl and do different things, and O-line can do their snatch and all that stuff. So it's something that's very detailed out, and it's really because of injury. But to answer your question, we're going to let that play out.
Do you have updates on Noah Sewell and Simba Webster and what that's?
Yeah, they'll be day to day. It's nothing major, and they'll be back. It's kind of like a little bit like TJ and those guys were. We'll see how it goes, and we'll do what we always do. We'll start putting them in individual, and then we'll ramp up the reps and all that, and go from there.
Sorry, we saw DeMarcus Walker kick inside on the 2-minute drill. How does that benefit the pass rush in those situations? Having it stuff.
Yeah, I think it's always good. He's an effective guy in there, and he can go in and go out. So when you have that versatility, you can match him up on different people. Some guys you can't do that. Some guys aren't very good when they go in there, and you can't match them up, which is always good if you get a long player in there like a Dexter against a guard or a center. That's always a good matchup.
How's the cadence issue with Caleb right now?
Good. Yeah, it came back way better, and in terms of just the operation of it, and it's improving every day.
You feel resolved. That's resolved. You guys have a game next week, obviously. Where you
Well, I mean, you're always going to enhance your cadence and change the cadence. So we have to go through the process of that. You got to use different cadences, and it's got to use it as a weapon, and that takes time. And we're going through the process right now. We're not even close to being through that process yet.
Coach, the conversation around Caleb Williams at OTAs and at minicamp was that he was very much ahead of schedule. He came back very prepared. Do you feel like he's done that at training camp? Do you feel like he's ahead of schedule, right on schedule? Where is he at right now?
Well, as you go through training camp, what you do is you put a lot of things in, right? And you're trying to put the whole offense in, and we're also installing the whole defense. So he's going to get the whole gamut of looks. So there's going to be an ebb and flow to this. There's going to be an ebb and flow. I don't think the bell curve, it's not like just this the whole time, right? It's going to be a little step and then go down and then go up. He's going to have some hard days, and that's by design, right? And just by happenstance, it's going to happen. We're going to give him some looks that are going to be hard for him, and then he's going to learn from those, and then he's going to grow and then go to the next step. So that's him learning the game up here, learning the speed, learning how the windows close faster. And when he does that, he's just going to keep growing and learning. And that's just not during training camps. That's going to be the first game all the way to the last game. He's got to keep stacking them up and keep learning.
Matt, you seem much more, you seem.
With the notable additions of someone like Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, what has the process been for you for instilling your hits principle, also this the team philosophy, into people who are new to this organization?
Yeah, so we go through it every time. We go through it every time with the players, with the coaches. We start over from the beginning because we know we have turnover and they have to understand how we operate. What's really cool, though, is that the guys that were here for 3 years, 2 years, last year, they understand and they can help coach those guys in. It's a faster process than what it was before because we have the in-house players now.
Matt, you seem much more comfortable on talking to us as reporters and doing your press conferences. And I know you've spoken a little bit about that, but I'm curious, what work did you specifically do to get more comfortable and more composed up there speaking to us?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's time on task. It's time on task. I think how many times we do it during a week? 4 times, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's a long season, right? So I think we got to get used to each other a little bit and get more comfortable with it. And it's just more at ease because time on task.
Are you going to let Owens go to Paris?
Owens go to Paris? Yes.
When does he leave? When's he going to come back?
Yeah, I don't know. You're testing my memory now. I mean, I have it in there somewhere, but it ain't on top. It's back there.
Why did that get the thumbs up from the organization?
Oh, just because we respect the Olympics. I mean, that is a big deal, and he's just supporting, the one he loves the most. And I think that's so cool that he gets to do that. And we welcome that, and it's going to be awesome. And
Okay. All right. I said it before. I'm cool with it. But he also, is there an understanding that is his job secure enough? Is he, I mean, he's obviously going to be a part of the team, clearly, if they're going to allow him to go to the Olympics. But, does he have, a lockdown job? Is his job set in stone where he could take off and go to the Olympics? I understand he's supporting Simone, his wife and everything like that, which is awesome. I'm not saying it's not, but just to me, this one kind of contradicts the message that every rep counts. Kind of. Call me an old man, call me a grouch, Scrooge, whatever the hell. But hey, man, if we're talking about Super Bowl, I want everybody's head to be focused on football. And I understand it's the Olympics. I understand Simone is amazing, she's probably the best gymnast in U.S. history. But man, I don't know. It's a tough one for me. Maybe if I was in the predicament, I'd understand a little bit more, but we're talking about being prepared for a season in which your general manager and your head coach pretty much have declared is a go type of approach. Like we're going after, at the very least, a playoff berth. So if they support him, that's cool. I won't even bring it up anymore after this. How about that? We'll just say that I have my questions and that's it. So here's Matt.
We want to go USA.
Matt, when you have a team period like you did where Montez kind of blows everything up a couple times in a row and Caleb doesn't have a lot of time, what do you guys as a staff take away from what is essentially like 5 broken plays in a row with him?
Yeah, like I said, it's very hard to evaluate pass rush, pass protection right now. So it's a little bit advantage to the D-line. I don't know what percentage that would be, but that's why we're going, when we're practicing, we're going to do pads. We get 2 pads in a row once we start going here. And it's pretty much the flow of the whole training camp unless I adjust it, which I have the right to do. But I would say that we'll get to evaluate those guys during that time.
In terms of Caleb, like what do you evaluate him during those?
Well, when you break the play, it's been a scramble drill. So we're working the scramble drill on the coverage part and the receiving part. So it's we can always work on that.
Matt, when you look back at Jalen's season last year, what do you think was the key to the uptick in interceptions? That might have been different. Just like, was it potential positioning, where he was in 2022 to why those didn't happen then to why they happened last year?
Well, I don't know if this has been said before. He's got the best corner coach in the league. I'm telling you, John Hoke is the best. Peanut Tillman's coach. I mean, you can start naming the names, and this guy can coach. So that's probably a big part of it. But Jalen also worked at it. He saw he needed to get better at something. He knew that the best corners in the league take the ball away, and he worked at it. He was on the jugs. He was working the catch points with his coach, working the distracted throws with his coach, working busted triangle, in the catch point. I mean, he worked all those things that you do as a DB coach and a DB, and he got better at it. So he just put his attention to it, his focus to it, and it happened.
At this point in the summer, what's the operation like between you and Coach Washington?
Great. It's great. Yep. So I meet with those guys. I have a good flow right now because, I meet with the offense, meet with the defense. I'm in the quarterback room, I'm in the defensive room, meeting with the coordinators. We got a really good flow to this, and it's about equal.
Like during practice, is he calling? Are you calling?
He calls it during practice. Yep. He scripts it, and I look at it. If it's I want to change something, I do. And if I want to change it on the field, I do too. But he's doing it. Okay.
All right, that was Matt Eberflus. I guess you guys know what my biggest take of that interview was. And I know you had to be limited, but I guess I just wasn't. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't paying attention as much. Maybe I thought that, going there during, one of the fan events at Lake Forest at Hellas Hall, they put a time limit. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't. Maybe I was clueless. My ignorance. I'll claim ignorance on that. But wow, like you couldn't even finish out the drive because you were at a time limit. And it's like you go over, let them end the drive. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't need to be like this extra. If they threw a pick the very next play, guess what? The drive's over. Now they go inside, they go cool off. Everybody's happy. Let them finish out the drive. That to me is ridiculous. You don't even allow them to get those final reps in to finish, mentally they're in the drive, you're asking, and for us, right, we want Caleb to be as prepared as he can be. You're asking him to go into a drive and all of a sudden, his mental is focused on this. Let's say it was a good drive, right? Let's say they're driving and they're in the red zone or whatnot. All of a sudden, oh, guess what? You can't finish out the drive because, we got a time limit on you. You're going to get fined or whatever. I don't know if they get fined or, God forbid, they take a draft pick or some shit like that. I wouldn't put it past the NFL. But, yeah, kind of ridiculous. A little ridiculous. I wouldn't even say a little. It is ridiculous. It's just Yeah. All right. We'll move on. We'll move on because it's getting late for me. I'm getting a little tired. The last three interviews we have for the night will be Kyler Gordon. We have oh my God, we'll have Walker and we'll have Jenkins. So let me bring them up right here. And here we go.
What's up, guys?
Tyler, if you could compare and contrast how you've been preparing for the training camp leading into this season versus your first season, what would the differences or similarities be?
Yeah, it would just be the positions I got put in, the experience I got to see, kind of like what I wanted to work on that I felt like I could grow my game in, and then taking that back to the lab, wherever I went for my off-season training, come back OTAs, detail it up, try new things, and then come back and try some new things again and just keep detailing and making my weaknesses my strengths. Yeah.
Anything specific you were focusing on in this offseason?
For me, just more film recognition, just being quicker, run pass reading a lot quicker to that. And then always just touching on my craft as far as the press and off. Off is a big thing too for me.
Kevin being back there where Bojack was for so long, what's the communication been like with him? Where is it at this stage, and where would y'all like to get it to?
Yeah, it's been smooth, seamless. I don't feel like there's been any drop off at all. I've had no problems with him. He's a very good communicator, and our whole secondary talks a lot. So there's been really no drop off at all. So we good.
Is that hand of yours 100% now? I know you were playing with it too.
Yeah.
A little bit hurt, but are 100%?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
No problems.
I mean, the offense obviously looks really different with the targets that are coming to you in the middle of the field. From your perspective, just how different is it having guys like Keenan Allen, Roman Dunze, Jordan Albrecht attacking that middle of the field now?
Yeah, I would just say it really can get spread out wherever, So we got so many different threats. It can be middle, low, high, outside, inside, like it. It's really wherever he want to put the ball and wherever the play is designed to. So I really just say like it could be spread over wherever on the field.
What does that do to you as a slot corner?
Yeah.
All these guys that can do so many different things.
Just open up the field, so just really just locking in on my job. But everyone just gotta, we're just covering more ground and stuff like that. So I wouldn't really say it changed anything for me specifically, but like, yeah, I don't know. We're just more locked in on our guys, our job. Just makes having better guys around us and stuff like that. Just iron sharpen iron the whole entire time. So just it puts us on our P's and Q's 24/7.
Is it fair to say like going into this year that you belong, whereas last year I'm sure you had a ton of confidence, but maybe it was that inch doubt of how it actually would play out?
Belong how so?
Say again?
You said belong?
Yeah.
Like how so? Like me individually or a team?
Just as good as everybody else out here. I can compete. I can
Individually?
Yeah.
I felt that way since the beginning. I always had confidence in myself to know that this is a spot for me and what I could do, my capabilities, and I feel like my teammates know the same thing around me, coaches, and then they trust and believe me, and I believe in myself, and so I have the same feelings for my teammates and coaches and stuff. So I don't feel like it's ever been a feeling of not belonging. It's just let's get to the action, let's play, make those plays, and build this team to take it to the top. Really.
We know this defense likes to talk. Is there any kind of scoreboard individually between corners and receivers as to who's winning which matchups or who's winning the day?
We haven't got very specific with it, but we're definitely competing to see who's gonna have the most turnovers, who's gonna have the most PBUs. It's always constant competition. Who's gonna make the next play? So I feel like as you see our defense, we got a lot of energy. So it could be from the left corner to the right corner to the mic to the D lineman. Like it just bounces all over. Yeah.
Coach Flus was just saying that Coach Hope is the best DB coach in the league. To you, what does he bring that you find most valuable?
He's been in the game for a long time. So his knowledge, he'll go all the way back 20 years and talk about something and bring it up in the meetings and like, this hasn't changed, like stuff like that. So he'll bring a lot of pointers, very smart coach, IQ guy. So I feel like that's what he brings to our room a lot.
Tyler, what impressed you the most about the way that Jalen handled the situation last year? To come in, to bet on himself, and then to get rewarded for it.
Yeah, he just he stayed true to himself. That's really the main thing. He's never changed, been any different. And, I commend him for that, and he's just been the same leader he's been since he's came in, since I've seen him, since my rookie year for the 2 years he's been here. And he's just been doing his thing, really. So he's just never changed. So I respect that. He's grown. He's helped the rookies. He's just been the same guy he's always been.
You talked about you guys having a non-communication kind of bond out in the field. Can you just talk about how that plays out for you guys and how you guys kind of operate, how you work on it?
Repeat the beginning of that, please.
Today, Jalen told us that you guys have a bond that allows you to communicate without speaking.
Yeah.
Talk about that and how it plays out.
Yeah, I feel like when we talk about it a lot in film or we have so many different reps, you know, I've been with him for 2 years now. So like we kind of us both knowing the defense and repping it so many times, it's like we know how we should play this. You know, we don't gotta talk and let no one know what we're doing. We just on the same page more of the time. It could just be a little slight like eye look or whatever. Like we just know it's on the same type of time. And so I feel like that bond that we have and with other teammates and stuff like that, it just looks seamless, you know. So it's nice to be able to have that type of team chemistry and stuff like that.
During OTAs, Tremaine Edmonds characterized the defense as being good. He used that word. What would it take to get the defense to a level of great or even elite? Like what has to happen this year to get there?
I say starting fast and just applying that pressure fast and just letting who know what kind of defense this is. And so yeah, I feel like just changing to that beginning and hopping on that horse right away and getting and let them know what's up. Turnovers, the defense flying around, starting from the D line to the corners to the linebackers, everyone on all cylinders. So I have a good confidence in our team right now. I feel that energy for real.
Kind of on the topic of chemistry, when you talk about the secondary, the cohesion you guys have, what does that do for the mentality of all 5 guys when you know you've got 4 proven guys, you know, beside you, around you the whole time?
Yeah, just a lot of dependability, a lot of trust. People knowing the assignments, not really worrying about if I got to help a little bit over here, help a little bit over here. You know, you get to really lock in more on your job and just know where people are going to be. So I just feel like no one really has to worry about anyone else doing anything because we're all in our spots. You know, we trust it, we repped it, we've been there before in practice, in the games, and then it just keeps getting stronger.
What impressed you about Tyree Stevenson's first season, and what do you think his potential is as he moves into this year?
Yeah, I feel like he's just been on a steady growth. Like it's just been straight up here for real. You know, as a rookie, you know, you're always going to go through your little hiccups and bumps and stuff like that, but he's always been able to take that and turn into lessons and grow. And I feel like you guys saw the PBUs and picks, you know, starting to come later in the season more and more and stuff like that. And the matches been able to lock down some of those guys. And, you know, he's just been growing steadily and consistently. So that's what I commend him for, yeah.
Second team defense, a couple of the DBs came away with pass breakups and Strowman had the interception today.
Oh, yeah.
How do you size up the secondary's depth that you guys may not have had the last couple of years and what that could provide you this year?
Yeah, just having guys that be able to come in and have no drop off, you know, because we always talk about that, maximizing those reps, whether they're mental or physical and stuff. And that's what those guys do. We get in the film room, we talk, everyone's talking. It's not like it's just the starters or anybody. Like we're all like one whole group. That's why we talk about the team chemistry. It's not like individual guys. It's a real bond and every position groups, and we bring it onto the whole defense. So there's really just no drop off. Everyone's just trying to make the next play. So everyone's just feeding off each other. So, yeah.
Is Tyree talking about being in the punt return competition?
He'd be back there for sure. I know he wants a few of those.
One of the periods yesterday, you came off the edge, kind of ended that drive on the blitz, but would have been a sack. I asked Montez about how y'all work the chemistry off of each other. What are you seeing? What are you looking for when you're trying to time it up, but also your aiming point versus what the end on your side is doing?
Yeah. I mean, I know Ted's a monster, so the tackle's gonna respect him and stuff. So I'm really just playing off of how they play him, and so I kind of get to see how they move and stuff like that. So because he's very destructive, and so I'm gonna just find my angle and pick off of him really.
And honestly, I could see Kyler Gordon being a guy that racks up the sacks this year off the edge from the slot, and I'm very excited to see because I think he's going to be I think he's going to be one of the stars in camp, but I really think he's going to have an excellent year, like a year that really puts him on note, or pretty much a showcase for the rest of the league. Like, yo, I'm here. Like Kyler Gordon is a dude, the force to be reckoned with. As wherever you put him at, a slot corner, wherever you really want to move him around at. Dude could play, athletic freak, has a confidence, as you could tell. And, obviously I'm rooting for him. I hope he has a great season.
Now that you're in year 3, what do you want to accomplish from an individual perspective? What do you want to come away with after this season?
A lot of things. I got a lot of things in the bag that I really want to accomplish, but from being all pro, Pro Bowl, more picks, 5+, you know, more turnovers and stuff like that. I got a lot of things in my head that I want. You know, definitely being healthy and not missing 4 games and stuff like that. And I know I got a lot more to put on the table, so I'm just excited to really show out this year.
Tyler, has it been emphasized to you guys on defense that you may have to be relied on a lot more early in the season because of how many new pieces you have on offense?
Say that again.
Has it been emphasized to you all on the defensive side that you may have to be relied on a lot more early in the season because of all the new pieces? It may take a little more time to work in on the offensive side?
No, I wouldn't say that's emphasized. I feel like we have a standard. Our standard is going to be the best, to be number one, and that's it regardless.
Jaquan called you guys the secondary, the Avengers. What do you mean? Do you like that nickname? Is that something that's actually stuck?
I like it. Everyone got their own little personality, their own little juice, a little energy. We all got nicknames for each other. You know, Flus gave us all nicknames and stuff like that. So I feel like it's only right to say something like that. Nah, I'm feeling it. Everyone got their own little superpower.
Wasn't that your thing though? I mean, aren't they?
Everyone got their own thing. They don't just got Spider-Man. Not the only Avenger. You know, like everyone got their own thing. It's a group. It's a group thing.
I'm not sure if Jaquan knew any other Avengers though, because he said he's the
Jaquan made one
warrior.
up, yeah.
He said he's the warrior. And
The Warrior, the
actually,
WWF,
that's not a real one. I just made it up.
Hey, we the Midway Warriors. We got a bunch of
Ultimate
different
Warrior.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Marcus, last year,
All right, that was Jaquan Brisker before we get into DeMarcus Walker. Again, you can see the personality of a guy like Kyler Gordon. That's why I said I think he's going to be a Hard Knocks favorite. Yeah, I'm hoping that like you can see the playfulness, how they talk about each other. It seems like a real tight unit. I'm hoping that this unit stays healthy and shows the talent that, you know, and potential that they really have. So I like Kyler Gordon a lot, man. I'm hoping for a huge year from him. Here's DeMarcus Walker.
you missed a lot of the training camp because of injury and it kind of took you a while to ramp up. How much better does this feel coming into this camp, assuming you're healthy?
Yeah, man. Last year was definitely a learning lesson. To not overwork during the offseason, but just be, prepared and trust what you got, going on. And, that was more, an eye-opening thing for me last year to come into this camp fully healthy. And also knowing what, the practice load that Flu's going to take us through too. So, I know what to expect now.
So it's eye-opening. How much did that hurt you last year? Like even just your regular season?
I mean, y'all weren't so nice to me, you know what I'm saying? So, it was definitely something that to where I had to just take, the punches and roll with it to, understand that to where you got to just continue taking it one day at a time and continue growing and continue getting better. The first 11 weeks was definitely, humbling. I feel like I was about 75% healthy, and then to where I was able to, take care of my body, get some, special treatment, acupuncture and all that stuff. And then I was able to get more balanced and then able to have my feet underneath me.
To that point, DeMarcus, like from the outside in coming into this offseason, the DN opposite Montez Sweat was talked about as being a need on this team. Do you take those types of things as a slight, as a shot, or anything like that in terms of?
Nah, I'm used to it now.
Montez was talking about just the benefit of having training camp.
DeMarcus seems a little ornery right now. He seems a little bothered right now. DeMarcus Walker seems like he got an edge to him. That's all right. Like, I mean, there's been questions. I'm sure there's been a lot of talk. He's probably heard a lot of things. I don't have a problem with DeMarcus Walker. I thought he was a great addition to the team. But you can't look at the way that they want to have this rotation on the defensive line, and they want to have fresh bodies that can rush the passer, ready to go at all times. They obviously need, and I would say they would benefit. I would think they would benefit from adding one more guy. I don't think it would hurt any. If DeMarcus Walker is worried about playing time or incentives or something like that, well, obviously, that's something that I really, can't help you with. It is what it is, man. Like, we are on the rise, and if it bothers him, maybe just take it out on the field, man. Like, use it as motivation. Who knows what might happen I'm just saying, like, I maybe I'm reading too much into it right now, but it seems to me like he's a little freaking pissed.
Full off season to work with you with different signals and stuff. How are you seeing that benefit already?
Chemistry. I mean, just from everybody to all the pieces that we added onto it, it's good to, just get together. Him and I spent a lot of time together in the offseason.
There's a lot of guys on this defense have talked about making sure you get off to a fast start. For
Yeah.
2024. What is your sentiment on that and why that's become so important with last year as a bit of a reflection?
Well, we started to catch momentum as a team, throughout the season last year, and we finished strong, even though we didn't get the win we wanted to against Green Bay and everything, and against Cleveland as well. But I believe that's why we practice in the morning too. Me and Flus talked about that too. I think that would help us get that fast start, in the season, so that's why we can drop out on teams early and then continue growing that chemistry, and then finish it strong, even better than we did last year.
Consider the momentum that you guys built late last year. What do you sense carries forward from last year to this year?
Confidence.
Mark, you talked about being 75% healthy last year. Going into this year, assuming that you're healthier, what kind of expectations or pressure do you put on yourself to perform at your highest level?
Just continue being effective because, you can be a dangerous man if you can win outside and inside. So, having that, that mindset and those goals, I believe that can help, not only me, but help the team as well.
When they signed you, that was like a big focal point that you had the inside-outside flexibility. How do you think that's going to translate to your usage and where you align this year?
It's all on me, If I'm hot outside, try to keep me outside. But to where, we got great edge rushers, Dominique Robinson, Jacob Martin, a lot of guys that to where they can rush outside, and me, you get those guys on the field too, and then push me inside, and you got you continue putting pressure on the quarterback and everything, playing selfless football.
We saw a little bit of that in the 2-minute drill today, playing next to Javon and having that sort of length inside. What does that do to an offense?
I mean, when you got a guy that's 6'6", and he kind of takes away the check down. You know what I'm saying? Putting his hands up. So, that's definitely a good add-on.
You said that you're used to it by now, hearing about last year bringing in Gakwe, and then this year you're hearing it again, and that you're used to it. But is there some part of you that says, this is what I was brought here to do, that I got this and now I'm 100% healthy?
No, man. I mean, the circle I have around me, it definitely, benefits because I know who I am as a person. I know what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? My dad has a saying, if you listen to what the people saying, you're not working.
Eric Washington's obviously a defensive line guy.
I agree. There's a chip, dog. Like there's you ain't showing it, which is good, right? Like I he's not out here like motherfucking the media on the mic. But I feel like this type of motivation is a positive. Or it can be a positive. Let's see what DeMarcus Walker has to do this season. It's like I said, he seems like he has an edge to him, and I like that. Especially on a defensive guy, on the a defensive lineman, got to have an edge.
Have you noticed him putting his fingerprints on anything or adding any new wrinkles that'll help you and the defensive line specifically?
Yeah, man. I mean, Coach, when he walks in the room, you know what I'm saying, you can feel his presence, especially having that military background. And when I was at the SAC Summit this offseason, got to meet up with Von Miller, Ebenezer, Daquan Jones, got to, understand, his philosophy and everything, getting, other players' information, everything. It all, was surreal to be able to, have this guy on this team. And then just, the things, the confidence he speaks in me and he sees my potential, you know what I'm saying? I thank God for him.
How beneficial was it to attend that for you?
Good. Great question. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Cam Jordan, I learned a lot from him because him and I have this specific similar body types, more of a power guy, you know what I'm saying? That's something that I needed to pick his brain and understand. And even the details I learned from Max Crosby too, you know what I'm saying? To, that definitely motivated me leaving Vegas to, come back, here and come share what I know and apply it as well.
Marcus, after spending a year with Javon and kind of understanding him, what do you expect out of him this year when you guys really need him to take that leap as a 3 technician?
And he's a Florida boy like me, you know what I'm saying? He know how to work. He definitely determined everything. So whatever I know, I owe. And whatever, he, whatever I can help him tweaking, making sure he's not overworking, you know what I'm saying, and making sure that to where the details that to where that can help him become an elite pass rusher. I don't mind pointing it to him, because when he's creating havoc, you know what I'm saying, that helps me, get the pressure off me. I get more one-on-ones,
How do you view the opportunity for yourself individually on the outside with Montez being here and being in theory better this year and you being fully healthy?
I mean, obviously when Taz came in, that definitely, he did demand a lot of attention, especially when he started creating havoc and, his team started sliding him and chipping on him, and that freed me up. So got to compliment that and continue, working. Can't put it all on him. I got to show up into where obviously you got to make the OC make a decision.
And you're in a better position to take advantage of that now.
Absolutely.
With the way this team finished last year and the additions they made in the offseason, how does your anticipation of being on a winning team, if not a playoff team, compared to like other teams you've been on, like at this point of the season? Is it any greater? Is there,
Nah, I don't really have any expectation. We definitely got to, continue playing good football and taking it one game at a time. Everyone has to develop from special teams, offense, and defense.
What do you like the most that you've seen so far defensively?
I mean, the intensity and the confidence, you can see it, from rolling off from being the number one run stopping defense and then tied in takeaways last year too. We have that confidence and, now it's being the number one total defense now.
What's the stability do for you, Marcus, coming back and being on the same team 2 years in a row after changing teams?
It's a great question. It was a blessing this offseason knowing where I was going to be home at, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, when you have that, that security, you know what I'm saying, that helps you, stay focused on the main thing.
Marcus, you talked about
a vocal leader. How have you kind of tried to step that up with Eddie and Justin being gone this year?
I was a vocal leader last year, you know what I'm saying?
But has it increased at all with them leaving?
No, I mean, I feel like this year, I'm pretty much kind of just letting a lot of guys, feel, their leadership roles instead of me kind of just like being the one always to speak up. So I let KB, Kevin Byard, he speaks up, you know what I'm saying? When you, Tremaine, all those other guys, you know what I'm saying? When it's my time to talk, it's my time to talk. I feel like now it's all about me perfecting my craft, putting DeMarcus first.
Marcus, you talked about learning from other players during your time in the league. How open and available do you make yourself to younger players who are hoping to grow their game as they're just entering the league?
So here's the thing. A lot of vets can say I'm always an open book. You ask the younger players how they is about me. I'm the type of person that I want you to feel comfortable. I sit down, what's your name? You know what I'm saying? Getting to know people because that's the type of leader I am. Being in the man of the people, learning how to, that's how you really make people comfortable. That's how you make, teams trust. You got to trust you come on the field. It's not no just, hey, let's go. You know what I'm saying? This guy actually got to know me. You know what I'm saying? And that makes a difference. When I break it down on family every single time.
Several of your teammates have picked you to be one of the potential stars at Hard Knocks. I'm sure you're not going to, go out your way with none of that. But are you looking forward to what that might look like in terms of how you are presented on the show?
Just be myself, man. You know what I'm saying? Before Hard Knocks was here, I'm still the same DeMarcus. When Hard Knocks here, so that no one can say, oh, he's acting or he's doing something.
My friend, we've been hearing you since you've been here, but I'm just saying, are you looking forward to what that looks like when it's on TV for everybody to see?
No, man. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
You've played with a lot of quarterbacks so far in your career. What has struck you about Caleb so far early on?
I don't like how the media made him, and not you guys, I'm talking about the LA guys, they're just the mainstream LA media and all that. I don't like how they made him this type of prima donna type things and all that stuff when you got to know this kid and you sit down and talk with him in the cafeteria and all that stuff. It's just like, no, you just sit down and get to know him, So, good kid, man. I can't wait to see what he does. Special arm talent. And this offense, got so many good weapons around him. It's the sky's the limit for that kid.
How much did you?
Well, I'm with you there, DeMarcus, and I'm sure all of us watching, everybody at TTNL, we all knew the bullshit. We all could smell it. It was a mile high. You know what I'm saying? The pile was a mile high, full of crap from the mainstream media and so-called sources, and and also from the people that gobbled up that information, that decided to go ahead and believe it. It makes you so upset because shit happens like this all the time. You know, it was just bullshit from the start, man. That's all I can say. I'm happy DeMarcus said it. Uh, yeah, I just I don't get why they had to do that. Like I don't know. We're beyond it. We love. We're here. We're back in Caleb. Let's move forward. But I'm glad DeMarcus said that and addressed that.
Do you pay attention to? I mean, clearly with the national perception of him coming in, was that stuff during the offseason as his team made a quarterback switch that you were tapped in on?
That's a question. I'm so sorry.
With Caleb, like, I mean, clearly you saw what was out there, the narrative about him. How tapped in were you into, you know, before he gets here, being your teammate, just like reading all that stuff about him?
Right. Well, I didn't really tie into it because, you know, y'all don't understand. Like, I took a month off for the first time. I usually only take 2 weeks off. And my first question I got is, what are we gonna do at quarterback? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so serious. Like February 1st when I started, and it's just like, so then I mean you had the comparisons and everything, and you know when I got like with anybody, like, and I'll wait to get to know you myself. You know what I'm saying? When we sit down and talk, and I use my discernment to see, you know if your spirit real or not. So I didn't really focus, into it. You know, I had to get to know him himself, you know.
What was the biggest misconception about him?
See, Caleb's confident, you know, and I feel like people can use that as cockiness, and that's where I feel like people are wrong at. You know, you want anyone to be confident in what they do. You know, in y'all job, y'all got to be confident. You know, you want a confident boyfriend, you want a confident girlfriend, you want a confident husband, you want a confident wife. So, I feel like some people can like misconcept that.
Marcus, you mentioned KB's leadership a minute ago. What's the thing that you respect most about the way he acts this whole thing?
I feel like, with him and Brisker back there, it's just, they've been there before, and me being with KB with Tennessee, I already knew what type of, leadership he was going to bring and everything. Now it's just, us leaders just, hey, bro, like, this is yours too. You can speak up, you can do whatever you want, be yourself.
Marcus, of course, we always hear you on the field, always
like a necklace, man.
I appreciate you. You can change the chain. We we always hear you jog back and forth with the offense. Did you kind of get the reaction today that you've been looking for over the past couple of years when they started jawing back a little bit?
Yes, I did. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Because they're the little brother. You know what I'm saying? And then you picking on them, you want them to swing back. You know what I'm saying? So, I do that. And that's the thing about my leadership. I try to get to know the offense and special teams as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm a team leader, not just a leader. You know what I'm saying? To, being able to, get to those moments, being their brother, you know what I'm saying? And also being there, being a bully, knowing how to get to know them. And when you're doing all that stuff, when things hit the fan, you know what type of person you're going to get out of them. You know what I'm saying? So bullying works.
On the football field, right? Tevin, is there
Oh my God, what a way to end that one. Bullying works. On the football field, bullying works. You can't go overboard though. Can't be a piece of shit. Like I think DeMarcus knows where to draw the line and how to dig the very best out of people. Man, like I feel like maybe not the very best, but you just get somebody to have an edge, like to gain some type of whatever edge you want to call it, some confidence. It is what it is. I don't know how far. Like I said, some light bullying, bully light. We'll call it. We'll call it bully light. You just a light form of bullying is all right. A little brotherly love, if you want to call it, some I guess some horseplay, some we'll call it that. We'll call it some, just trying to bust a guy's balls, something like that. But anyway, here's Tevin Jenkins. This is the last interview of the night, and then we're gonna wrap things up.
You're a vocal leader in the O-line room right now, would you say?
I would say it would probably be
I'd probably say it would probably be Ryan Bates, being the vocal leader. Like, he's more of our vocal guy. Yeah, like you're asking right now. Yeah, so I'd say probably Ryan Bates.
Lucas kind of left a void there that he's stepping into. Is that fair?
Yeah.
What has it been like? I mean, he's a new guy to come in and be that vocal leader right away. How long did that take him to get up to speed there?
Not too long. You know, it seemed like he came over whenever we just traded him. He just fit right in, and you know, he hasn't done anything but himself, and we, as a whole line, just love him. So,
what's the process like for you as the team kind of tries to determine Ryan Bates, Coleman Shelton, these guys swapping in and out? What's that process like for you as the offensive line as a whole figures out that position?
you know, I love both guys. You know, as they're still competing and everything, and you know, it's different by fits terminology. We try to stay on the same terminology, so that's going to be easy, and just different body types of those two, and just being able to come together and understand, maybe Coleman likes to slide a little bit more on the pass pro, and then Ryan likes to slide a little bit less. It's like finding that little nuances between each other and understanding what's going to go on.
Ideally, is there a point in the process where you would like to kind of get that settled so you can continue to work on that chemistry with whoever's going to be next to you in the regular season?
Above my pay grade. You know, I love both guys, so I mean, whenever it happens, it's for the upstairs guys to determine.
How does the strength of the quarterback center exchange affect a left guard, though?
You know, I'm just out here to do my job, I guess. I mean, between those two, what happens is what happens. I mean, I just try to focus on what I can control.
I think this is nothing against Tevin, but I think she was looking for more. And at least my interpretation of the question was like, you know, how comfortable, like having a center established, you know, having one guy there, like how comfortable or what's the difference between having one guy and maybe I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of how I interpreted the question.
This point of your career, do you have any different game plan or approach into the season to make sure that A, this is your best season, and B, that you're available all season?
Other than spending a lot more money on my body than I ever have, that's really about it. Because I'm just like starting to hammer more. Like I'm gonna talk to my PT guy. I'm gonna see if he comes out twice a week. Make sure I get my body going into the game day. I'm trying new chefs out and making sure we can make sure I keep my inflammation down in my body. Make sure nothing's bumping bruises. I'm start looking into more massage. I'm not a big massage guy, but I'm gonna look into probably seeing if that would be beneficial as well.
Are you doing starts? Is the best you felt at this time, you know, at this point in training camp since you've been here?
Yeah, it has.
What spurred this investment back into your body, into your nutrition and everything? Like what was the genesis for that for you?
Genesis mean?
Like what was the beginning? What made you decide I want to do this?
Did he just? What does Genesis mean, Tev? All right.
I'll say just basically the future of what I want. And, you know, I made it vocal many times that I want to be here on the Chicago Bears and whatever I need to do of how much I need to pay forward to get it back in the back end. And that's the determination I have to keep doing that and understanding that I need to spend more short term to get more long term for myself and my family.
What's the budget for that? Like, how much do you have to spend, and is it double what you used to, or can you put that into context for us?
So if I have them twice a week, it's probably be in that shift. Almost double. Yeah, I'll say almost double. Don't tell them that because you might drive the price up on me. But I try to stay well within my means of that and understanding that I do have a newborn formula. It's not cheap. I figured out very quick. Diapers aren't cheap as well, and wipes. Wipes go out like that. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are in my budget now that was not in mine before. That I'm trying to make it more reasonable because, like I said, more now. I can have a lot more later.
So when we talked to you in the spring, you said that your side had reached out to the Bears, but you hadn't heard anything on the contract. Do you have an update on where things stand right now?
Last I was told, I gotta wait until after bye week to reconvene about it.
I'm sorry, wait until after.
Bye week, yeah, so we can reconvene about it.
Tanner, what was the process of knowing which things in your repertoire, you know, improving your body, spending more money, of knowing which things had to change, whether it was nutrition, exercising, what was the process like knowing that certain things had to change and certain things, you know, could stay the same?
Well, you know, I'm getting older. 18 years old, I used to hop on that field, no stretch, nothing, easy, no matter what. As I started getting older, I'm like, all right, maybe I need to not have fucking Wendy's on Tuesday or before practice or something, or Whataburger on Wednesday at college or something. And starting to understand that these meals and this money I'm spending on my body actually is beneficial for me in the long run, and I can actually have a longevity in this sport.
Tevin, the cadence issues that you guys were having with Caleb back in June, I guess, May, June.
It's all ironed out.
I was gonna ask if you felt like that's solved.
Yeah, it's ironed out right now. We're doing really good on it, and hopefully keep on continuing growing off that.
What's impressed you lately with Caleb?
Pocket presence. You know, we have a 3 and a 5 and 3 and a 5 on the other side, and they both rush outside. He understands like, oh wow, he can just step up because all their cover 2 drops, and it's like, oh wow, I can step up 20 yards, just easy. I mean, he's just understanding where he's like sliding in the pocket, like seeing the pressures and everything. So I'm being really impressed by that.
I know y'all not in pads yet, but what's been your early assessment of Javon Dexter in terms of his growth from last year to this year as you go up against him?
I haven't been up against him yet, so I'd say this is our first like shells practice today. So I mean, I haven't went up against him yet, so I wish I could give you that. So
What's been your early, it's like, obviously early, what's been your impression of DeAndre Swift though? Like he seems like he has a little extra juice, another gear that maybe the other backs might not have.
yeah, I'm very impressed by Swift right now, and it's a lot of hard-nosed ball he does. It's very impactful what he's going to do for our offense, and he's very quick, speedy, and he can run over you if he wanted to. So that's a lot of things that he brings to the offense. I'm very excited about it.
Do you feel like early on the ball is coming out a little bit quicker on the offensive side, that you're not having to hold your block nearly as long?
For me, pass rush feels like an eternity. It's just like it's what it is. I'm just back there just holding on for dear life, I feel like sometimes. Whenever that ball gets out, we're just covering down as fast as we can, hard we can, and no matter how long it is. And our job is to be there to protect Caleb, and I'm just there to do my job however long it takes.
So this was praising the operation of the offense, saying things are coming along, fewer pre-snap penalties. How do you assess where just the operation is at this point right now?
Yeah, I do say we're coming along. I mean, we have a long way to go because it's like day 3 of training camp. But I feel like we're ahead of the curve of where we were last year. And we're definitely growing together and understanding what this offense is going to go be. And this was a 2024 season, 2024-25 season.
Is that surprising, given you got a new OC and a new quarterback that you're ahead of the curve?
Yeah, I feel like that's why, like even going to OTAs, you know, when we had that little ironing out of cadences and pre-snap penalties, we came back at training camp, hit the ground running, haven't had a problem since.
Tevin, DeMarcus Walker knows that the offense matched the intensity of the defense today. What has been your impression of the way the offense has handled the intensity of the defense and been trying to match their intensity?
Yeah, I feel like we've been trying to keep up with the defense, not really like keep up with the defense, but match their intensity, like you're saying. And because, you know, this is a top 10 defense without doubt. Fucking D-line to safeties, like they're going to be a great defense. They're going to be great this year. And for us to match that intensity is going to be good for us because that means we're going to push ourselves to try to be a top 10 offense as well. And if we keep on going back and forth, we're just going to make each other better.
Did the contract that Quinn Miners got get your attention?
Yeah.
And about just possibilities?
I trained with Quinn back in Exos. He's a really good dude. Like him. I love to see him get paid. And I'm very excited for him. And, you know, it's good overall for the guard market by itself. So
The defense called themselves the Avengers. Do you feel like you guys have a group of superheroes on the offensive side as well?
We might have to make some up. I don't know. We haven't convened yet.
Thank you.
We haven't convened yet. That was funny. That was Tevin Jenkins. He's obviously matured. You could see it from him. instead of him feeling like, well, from my perception, when he first got here at the podium, he seemed like he was a little more on edge. Obviously, probably didn't want to be there. And now he just seems more comfortable, answering questions, giving you, honest answers. And it seems, like he's, established himself as a veteran in this league and on this football team. So good for him. I just hope he stays healthy. Like he was talking about, he's speaking about his body and how much money he's putting into it now, as opposed to when he was in college and, eating Whataburger and fucking, all types of shit that you shouldn't be doing if you want to prolong your career in the NFL. And, even if you want for yourself, you want to stay healthy, remain healthy, not put so much strain and stress on your body. So yeah, I like where, from where I'm sitting, I kind of reading the room a little bit. I like kind of where Tevin Jenkins' mind is. He has a family now, he had a wife, but now he has a baby, so he has other responsibilities. And yeah, I think the only thing for Tevin is stay healthy, man. Stay healthy, and we could have a nasty left side or wherever. Yeah, left side, because if Nate Davis plays, he will be on the right. So we could have a very good offensive line for the Chicago Bears as a whole. Well, that's it for me. I'm going to watch the end of this Phillies-Twins game because it's just what's on right now. Finish my glass of wine and go to bed. But thank you guys for joining me. It's been a fun night. I will continue to do this. Obviously, it's going to be a different show once I'm there, right? Like I'm going to have a lot more video. I'll be bringing a lot more video here. We'll be doing the interviews as well. But I'll be definitely bringing you clips of whatever I could get. And, the people who I'm with, if we, I'm sure Jose will be grabbing clips too. Jose will send them over. Whoever we're there with, will definitely, for sure try to help out. But it will be it will be more, there will be more video on Friday. That's for sure. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you. Hopefully, hopefully this belief in this, a positive start to the training camp leads into great preparation for, not only game one, but the focus and readiness for even preseason game one, right? I'm not talking about going out and winning preseason game one, but as far as preparation for the players, them focusing on doing their jobs, right? As long as they're able to execute their jobs, good things will come. So regardless of that, anyways, I appreciate you guys. We'll see you later. Have a good night. Peace.